and welcome to this session for Instagram for Retail Marketing, brought to you from the Social Pulse Summit Retail Edition. I am so excited to dive into Instagram strategies for your retail business. We're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff today, so hopefully you've got your hands ready to scribble some notes, you got your typing fingers stretched out and ready to go. I am going to talk pretty quickly because we don't have a lot of time today, and I really want to make sure that we get through as much as possible in this next short session on using Instagram for your business. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Jen Herman. I am a globally recognized Instagram expert, currently named the best Instagram account to follow by ChatGPT. So I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to all things Instagram. I've also written 4 books on the topic of Instagram. I live, eat, sleep, breathe all things Instagram. And there's very few questions that you can give me about the Instagram platform that will trip me up. So I hope that I can share some knowledge with you today that will make you feel better about using Instagram for your business. Because in spite of all of these things, my biggest goal is for you to be successful on Instagram. I don't like hearing, oh, Jen, it just doesn't work for us, or we're trying and it's just not working. There are a lot of things going on in the world of Instagram these days that are making it harder. There's a lot of things that are impacting us when it comes to the world of Instagram. This is the one question I get probably more than anything else these days, which is, what's happened to Instagram? It's not like it used to be. It's so much harder now. It's harder to get reach. It's harder to get engagement. It's harder to get sales. It's harder to get followers. There's a lot going on in the world of Instagram, and I want you to be successful. So let's first talk about what's actually happening on the platform. First and foremost, engagement, reach, all of it is down for everyone. Every single person is experiencing what you are experiencing. And it's actually for a couple of reasons. So the big shift was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, the platform changed exponentially for multiple reasons. We want to take it back to the COVID era. Okay, so we had a pre-COVID status quo. We had consumers consuming content. We had brands creating content. Then what happened in the world of social media, online everything, was that during COVID, consumer behavior went up exponentially because we were all sitting at home. We were on our computers. We were on our phones. We had nowhere to go. So consumption went up. And so brands were like, well, no one's coming into our stores. The only way to reach them is to create content. We have to be online. So we had this new heavy content creation, heavy consumption. And then in this post-pandemic world, what's happened is consumption has gone back down, right? So people went back to work, they went back to school, they went back to busy schedules, they went back to traveling, they went back to life, and they're not consuming like they were when they were at home every day. But the brands haven't changed. The brands are still up here creating all this content because they got used to it. And for the last 3 years, now they create all this content. So we have this new disparity. It's not good. It's not bad. It's not right. It's not wrong. It is just what it is. We have this new environment, which has put a platform saturation, right? We've got so much more content being created, and that makes it hard for people to see all of our content because we're competing for eyeballs on content. And it's just the reality. It's just something we've all have to adapt to. So if you're looking at metrics from even a year, 2 years ago and saying, well, 2 years ago we had this reach, it's not relevant because it was a different landscape then than it is now. The third thing that is a massive shift, and this also happened 3 years ago, was this little thing called Reels. Reels came out and changed behavior on the platform. We went to a world where instead of everything being in one feed and maybe some stories, now there's a whole other feed. Now we have feed and we have Reels. If someone goes into the Reels feed and they're sitting here scrolling through all these videos, they're not seeing your static posts. So should you create all Reels? No, not necessarily, because if someone doesn't like Reels, if someone doesn't like Reels so much, they're not going through the Reels feed. They're over here in the feed with the static photos. And so you don't want to do all Reels and ignore them over here. But it has changed how people consume content on the platform. It has changed how people behave. It has changed how brands create content. And that has created a significant shift on the platform as well. So I just want to preface everything we're talking about today with that. I want you to understand and be aware that things are just different now. It's not good, it's not bad. We just need to make sure that we're strategic about getting in front of our audience in the right ways so that we can actually get that message out there. We can build those relationships, we can get those followers, and we can drive those sales for your retail business. So what matters on Instagram right now? There's three key, I mean, there's probably a couple more. I should probably say like 5 things, but we only have enough time to talk about 3 things today. So we're going to talk about reels because yes, they are that important. 2, I want to talk about direct messages because this is an aspect of Instagram that most people ignore and it's actually incredibly powerful. So we want to make sure we're using that for driving those sales and building those relationships. And then the third thing I want to talk about today, it's going to be optimizing for search because we need to make sure that you are getting found, that your brand is showing up where people are looking for you or even where they're not looking for you in those suggested posts. That then when they do find you and they come to your platform, you're set up for success. So those are the 3 things we're going to run through in the next less than 20 minutes, which is why I'm going to talk fast. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your reel strategies, the things that you can start doing with your reels to start reaching more people, because reels, it's all anybody talks about when it comes to Instagram because they are powerful. Now, that said, they're not as powerful as they were a year, 2 years ago. You used to be able to create a reel and you could reach like 20,000 people and not even try. Now you create a reel and you're like, I reached 200 people. Like, again, this new disparity. They also, in the beginning, heavy push on reels, right? Instagram was like, create reels and we'll give you reach. Now they're like, okay, a lot of people are creating reels, and they had to toggle back that priority. So now feed and reels have equal weight in the sense of what Instagram doesn't, what they push. They're not going to push reels more unless you as a consumer watch more reels. Then they'll give you more reels, but they're equally weighted now. Whereas 2-3 years ago, reels had preferential placement. So yes, it's still reels, but it's a little bit different. So yes, you will reach more people with reels, more new people. You are more likely to reach new people. You are more likely to show up in things like suggested posts and those sorts of things if you are creating reels. We want to make sure that you're creating reels for awareness. When you are trying to reach these new people, it is not about conversions. It is about brand awareness, getting them to be familiar with your brand, and then we will reel them in with longer reels, with our feed posts, with our carousels, with our stories, our direct messages. We're going to reel them in with those brand awareness reels to get people to know who we are. We're not trying for heavy conversions with our reels. And you want to make sure that your reels are focused on what your target audience wants. If they want entertainment, give them entertainment. They want education, give them education. They want news and updates, give them news and updates. It's not all about your product in these reels. If they are taking in the fun, the bloopers, the videos, and that's getting people to find you, that's okay. Again, this is meant to get their attention, and then we'll use other strategies that you have already in place to actually convert them. So things to keep in mind with your reels, like I was just kind of saying, there's a difference between reels. Short reels, short reels are going to be your top of funnel. These are going to be brand awareness only. When I say short, I'm talking ideally 15 to 20 seconds, under 30 seconds for sure. Most suggested reels, most things that show up in Explore or search results are under 30 seconds. Your reels that are, 82 seconds long are not going to show up in those suggested posts. Those 82-second reels, the ones that I'm really famous for, because I can't, if you can say it in 10 words, I can say it in 100. So I like my long reels. Those are for my existing audience. Those are those longer reels that serve your existing audience. Short reels, top of funnel, brand awareness only, no calls to action, not trying to do anything but get attention to your account. Longer reels are where you can actually now deliver the value, share more behind the scenes, talk more about your brand, about your products, what's going on in the world of your industry, your business, that sort of stuff. Those are to serve your existing audience, the people who have found you, the people who are already consuming your content and that are willing to give you more attention span. I do want to point out, again, I've already kind of said this, but most brands find conversions from Reels extremely low. They are the lowest converting content on average. Fun fact, the highest converting content, Instagram stories. So yes, we're not talking about Instagram stories today, but you should be using your Instagram stories, especially in retail, because they are the highest converting content for most brands. Now, of course, there's exceptions to every rule. I'm always the exception. Stories are like super low conversions for me. I'd probably get more conversions off of Reels than I do off of stories because it's just the way my brand and my audience works. So this is, again, very generalized information. If your data tells you otherwise, you can ignore what I'm saying. But for the most part, you want those short Reels top of funnel, longer Reels serve your existing audience. Don't put a lot of heavy calls to action in your Reels. Save that for your carousels, your feed posts, and your stories. Most Reels will get significantly more engagement than other post types because, again, they're more likely to show up in those explore, those suggested posts, those kind of for you videos rolling through Instagram feeds that people are likely to be like, yeah, cool, I like that. And they're more likely to engage with it. They're also in a feed where they're going like this and they're more likely to hit the like, keep on scrolling. It's more likely to get engagement than your carousels, your feed posts, and your stories. That doesn't mean that it's more valuable. It is a part of your strategy, but these are great for engagement. And when you have engagement, you're keeping your content in front of that audience. That means that they're more likely to see your other posts that are going to be where the conversions come from. So the Reels are important and they are going to be your high engagement type posts. All right, so some Reels tips to think about when you are creating your Reels. And this is an example here from Headpiece Com. She's actually a member of Profit Your Profile, which is my membership community dedicated to Instagram marketing. And she is one of our massive success stories. She had a video basically go viral. This is the video here. She restores vintage hair pieces, primarily for wedding pieces. So like I would take my mom's old 1970s, hideously huge, big headpiece, and I would give it to Marie, and she would turn it into a modern masterpiece. So she does these Reels where she walks people through the emotional journey, taking it, photos and stuff from the original, and then, talking about the story behind why the daughter wanted to do this, and then the part where she, reconfigures these pieces and then finishes it with photos of, the modern bride wearing the new piece. And this is one of those Reels that went viral and it changed her business. She had only ever really worked with local brides on the East Coast. And now most of her brides come from California and she does everything virtually with Zoom calls. And then they mail her the thing and she mails it back. And she's got clients all over the US now, all because of a Reel, which again, had no call to action. It was a story. And in that story, she reached hundreds of thousands of people and built a whole new branch of her business because people connected to the emotional connection in that Reel. So keep that in mind when you are looking at these things. It's not always about the actual sale. It's about the story behind the product. It's about the motivation. It's about what you do with your community, all these other things that can be that high conversion for you. So when you're creating your Reels, keep the caption super short. When you're looking at this and you can see there's it has a vintage bridal headpiece restyle, that's all they see. You see one line of text. And if you put a really long caption, people aren't likely to watch it on a video. They may watch it in the feed, but typically doing a short caption is best. And that one sentence should be basically the title, the topic of the video. You're going to use the same hashtag strategy as you're going to use on all your feed posts, which means using up to 30 hashtags. If you scan that QR code, you can go ahead and grab my hashtag strategy, totally free. I think it takes you to the YouTube video and walks you through. So no opt-in or anything on this. Just scan it and go watch the video that will walk you through my hashtag strategy. That video is a couple years old now at this point, but it still works. I've been teaching hashtag strategies for about 7-8 years now, and it really hasn't changed that much. There are some things to consider going forward in terms of where to put hashtags. You definitely want to keep those in the caption because that's related to search, and we're going to talk about that at the end of today's short session. When it comes to your Reels, you don't have to dance. No, you don't. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. It doesn't have to be your face. You don't have to do lip syncing. You don't have to dance. You can do whatever works for you. Again, this is a video where Marie's not even in the video. There is absolutely no dancing. but it's a massively successful video. Create a mix of content. Do educational content, do entertainment content, do behind the scenes, meet the teams, mix it up. Don't just make it one type of content. Make sure you get right to the point in the first frame. People on Reels have a very short attention span. They're going to look at the video, and if you don't capture them immediately, you're going to lose them. They're going to scroll past. So we want to get right to the point. You're not going to come in and be like, hi, I'm Jen Herman with Jen's Trends. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Reels. You lost me at, hi, my name is. No one's going to stick around for that. Instead, you want to come in and be like, in today's video, we're talking about Instagram Reels. I'm your host, Jen Herman with Jen's Trends. So the first thing you need to know about Reels is, boom, you are starting out, you're coming in hot. You don't want to drag this out, because if you do, you're never going to keep people in the video long enough. They don't know you. Most of the people, again, top of funnel, don't know who you are. So we want to make sure that you're giving them the opportunity to come in and learn the product, learn the service, learn the brand before you start trying to sell those things to them. Make sure you add a title with a text box to the beginning of your video. This is super important, again, because you want to make sure that when someone comes to the video, before you get that third word out of your mouth, you want the title of that video. You want some sort of like attack, like hook, pull, whatever it is, right there on the front of the video in text that makes them know what that video is going to be about. So you don't even have to say, in this video, we're going to, by the time you say in this video, the captions already told them that with this video you're going to talk about Instagram Reels tactics or whatever it is. So it's already there, and it makes them more likely to stay if they are your ideal target audience. Then ideally, you want to create a custom cover image with that as well. That custom cover image is going to go on so that when someone goes to your Reels tab, when someone finds you in Explore, they're seeing the cover image. If they don't know your face, if they don't know your product, if they don't know your brand, seeing your face, your brand, your product means nothing to them. But a custom cover image with the title, with some branding on it, tells them if they want to watch that video. It's going to increase your views, and it's going to increase your views and your retention with your ideal target audience. That's going to help you be successful in the long run with actually getting the views, the retention, and then ultimately the sales through your Reels. All right, I'm going to leave this up here for just a hot second. This is an opt-in. It's a double opt-in. So if you want to scan this QR code, you're going to get a free guide with 12 Reels ideas. So if you do one Reel a month, that's 12 months. It's a year's worth of content. If you do one a week, it's 3 months of content. But it's going to walk you through. It's not specifically for retail. It's a whole bunch of different things, but it will give you ideas of 12 Reels you can start creating right now to boost your Reels strategy and be more successful. Scan that QR code. It is a double opt-in, GDPR and all those things. You know how it works. But make sure that you do say yes to what comes in your email, and then we can send you that free guide with 12 Reels ideas for you. All right, so let's talk about direct messages right now, because this is super important to your strategy as well. What people don't think about with direct messages is that it's dark social. We can't track it, but it's super important. And this is one of those things, Instagram wants us in direct messages, okay? When Instagram says do, we do. Remember back in the day when Facebook was like, hey, Facebook groups are the place to be. We're going to give them preferential treatment. And so everybody started a Facebook group. That's how we feel about the Instagram DMs. Instagram wants us there. They know that more exchanges, more shares, more conversations, more photos, everything happens in the DMs daily more than anywhere else on the platform. So it's a chance for you to get in there and have actual conversations. Instagram is constantly adding more features and more ways to connect in direct messages. Someone likes your story, it's a little like, but if they do a quick reply, it opens a DM. If they put a message as a response to your Instagram story, you're in a direct message. If someone answers a poll and you reply to their poll question, it's going to be in a direct message. They keep doing more and more things to get you into direct messages because they want you there. And here's why it's important. Because yes, direct messages are wonderful because they create relationships, right? Someone messages you, you message back, you have a conversation, right? In retail, it's a lot of conversations, okay? But there's also an algorithmic reason why this matters. On Instagram, if you have a personal relationship with another account, that account is more likely to rank higher in your feed. Now, Instagram's a one-to-one relationship. It's not a popularity contest like Facebook. Instagram is very one-to-one. So if you send me a DM and I respond to your DM, we have now had a mutual conversation. that means we have a personal relationship. Instagram looks at a conversation in DMs as a personal relationship. Once we have a personal relationship, Instagram assumes you want to see more of my content, which means you as the consumer, me as the brand, my brand content is appearing higher in your feed. This is related to you as the consumer, not to everybody else out there, but you and me one-on-one. So DMs are actually going to give you an algorithmic preference. We want to move people into those DMs. It's actually going to help your entire content strategy. So how can you use those direct messages effectively? Some things that you can do is use calls to action that drive direct messages. So this is a big shift for a lot of brands. Instead of just saying, click the link in bio, which I will often do for like evergreen content. Like for me, if I want you to go check out Profit Your Profile, my membership, I'm going to say, go click the link in my bio. If I want you to subscribe to my newsletter, I'm going to say, go click the link in my bio. But for this webinar, for this summit, if someone wants to sign up for this, I'm not going to put that in my link in bio solution. Instead, I'm going to turn around and say, send me a DM and I'll get you the link, or comment link below and I'll send you a DM with the link. So I'm letting people know, hey, I have this link. If you want it, let me know. Either commenting link below or sending us a DM and I'll send you the info. So it allows you to open up that direct message conversation with the audience, with that individual person, start building that relationship, start having conversations, help with algorithmic preference, help with actual relationship building, while also giving them the information they want. It's also a little bit of market research. You get to see who's actually interested in what it is that you're selling. Other things you can do are reply to the story and we'll give you the coupon code. So put the, little story sequence up. And if people, you're like, hey, you get 15% off, this weekend only, reply to the story and we'll send you the coupon code. Don't put the coupon code in the story, make them send you a DM and then give them the coupon code. So there's ways that you can drive that engagement through DMs while giving them the information they want. When it comes to your direct messages, be responsive. Oh my gosh, like no one would, if someone walked into your store, they walk in the front door of your retail store, and assuming you have a brick and mortar or retail store, and they say, hi, are you going to walk away and not talk to them? Of course not. So be responsive. It's about the customer service. Answer their questions. If they have questions about your product, if they have questions about how it works or your shipping policies or any of these things, answer their questions. Provide that requested information. But then also use that to build the relationships and have those conversations. Again, going back to a retail environment where someone walks into your store. If someone walks into your store, and what's the first thing you say to them? Here's my product. No, that's the last thing you say to them. They walk in the store and you go, hi, how's it going? Oh my gosh, it's so sunny today. I'm so glad to see the sunshine after all this rain that we've had. How are you doing? Is there anything you're looking for? Or just absolutely take some time, browse around. Let me know if you have any questions, right? You're engaging in conversation. You're not engaging in a sale the moment they walk in the door. Your DMs give you that opportunity to do the same thing. It gives you the chance to build those relationships. Then think about ways that you can personalize those responses for ways that you can use their name. Go look at their profile and get their name if it's on there and say, hey, Susan, thank you so much for that question. I'm going to have a team member reach out to you personally about that because I don't have that information for you just yet. Or do audio and do the same thing. Hey, John, so glad you're interested in that product. I'm going to send you the link for that specifically. If you have any questions after you check that out, be sure to let me know. Or take it up a notch, do a video. Now, the audio and video isn't ideal for everybody, but it shows a level of personalization that it's not a bot, that it's not just an automatic canned response with, here's the information you requested, but actually giving them the time to use their name, build the relationship, and have those conversations. So whenever possible, take that extra step. All right, so I want to wrap up talking about optimizing for search because this is the key to success. Years ago, again, back then, so long ago in the world of internet life, we used to only be able to search by location, by account name, and by hashtag, right? Those were our three search criteria. If you weren't searching for one of those three criteria, then there was no search. So if you wanted to be found, you had to use those hashtags or the location tag. So you could location tag for your physical retail store. If you were an online business, then you had to rely on those hashtags, and you had to use the plural version of, hashtag baby product, hashtag baby products, right? Like you had to do them all, because if someone went looking for baby product and you had baby products, you weren't showing up in the searches. So there was like all these things that we had to do in order to get found in those search. But now we have keyword search, and this is a game changer. This is also what's changing our metrics and what we're seeing in the background, because now we have keyword search. Now, just so you know, keyword search is not by any means going to be a Google long tail keyword search. You're not going to say things to do in San Diego in the summer. That is not going to give you a keyword search on Instagram. It's going to be a womp womp. 1 to 2 words, maybe 3 word type things. Like in this case, kids crafts. We want something super short, super easy in terms of what people are looking for. So the keyword search algorithm, when you go and search, in this case, kids crafts, is going to go top. This is algorithmically sorted. This is not chronological. And this is based on 3 key areas to determine what content is going to show up at the top of that feed. So first, your profile description. What you have written on your Instagram profile in that description, it matters. It is looking for keywords and they're related to this keyword that is being searched. Your post captions, all of your content in general, all your post captions, how often do they reference something related to that keyword? And specifically, that one post, how is it related to that keyword? And then your hashtags, but your hashtags have to be in the caption. If someone's doing a hashtag search, if you look at the top of this where it says top accounts, audio tags, if you click on tags, it's going to search hashtags related to kids crafts, and you're going to choose which one you want. There, it would look at the hashtags in a comment. But for this, in the top feed here, it is only looking at hashtags if they appear in the caption. So if you're burying your hashtags in a first comment, they're not helping with your search results. So we want to make sure hashtags stay in the caption. It's not spammy. Nobody cares. Only the marketers care. Just use your hashtags, put them there where they belong. So here's what that looks like in practice. So again, this is searching for kids crafts. So I find this post, which this post here in the middle, if you look over here on the right-hand side, it's the 3rd post on the right-hand side of her profile. That's the post that I found in the search. So it went looking for keywords related to kids crafts, not exclusively kids crafts. The AI is scraping all of this data to see the relevant content. So in this case, in the caption of her post, it has little hands, handcraft, my kids, handmade gift. The AI can start putting that all together and say, this post is probably about kids crafts. Then on top of it, you've got hashtags, crafts for kids, kids Christmas crafts, hashtag kids crafts. So the hashtags have all these relevant keywords related to, again, that keyword search. So this post in and of itself is clearly related to my keyword search. However, Instagram's going to go a step further. What is your overall content? What is your profile about? So in this case, look at her profile. She's got mama and crafts. The AI is smart enough to know that if it says mama, it has to do with kids. And then there's crafts. So she is telling Instagram that her account is about things related to kids and crafts. Now, if she was a real estate agent and she was over here talking about real estate all the time, but did one post about a kid's craft, that's totally okay. But the AI, the back end, is going to say, okay, this post is clearly about kids crafts, but in general, your content is not. In general, your content's about real estate. So it's not that her post wouldn't appear in that search for kids crafts, but it would not be at the top of the feed. It would not be at the top of that list of results because her overall content as a whole does not meet that end goal. So just keep that in mind in terms of your content. We want to make sure that you're using the right keywords that are related. This isn't keyword stuffing. Okay, we're not going back to like old age SEO. It's about writing descriptive captions. It's about using the right hashtags and keywords and having a good descriptive bio that is related to the types of words and phrases that your audience is looking for, not what you want to be found for. So if you have a water purification system, you're going to talk about things related to water and purification and health and nutrition and those sorts of things, right? Healthy living. Those are all things that are going to be related and that you could put in there. Instagram's going to be able to start putting the correlation between all of those things. All right. So as we just wrap up, because there's still so much more. Oh my gosh, I could talk for hours about this, but I want to make sure that you get just a couple more little tidbits right before we wrap up here. What else do you need to be keeping in mind when it comes to Instagram and your retail strategy? Don't give up on photos in the feed. Do not go all in on reels. If someone says do a reel every single day and don't do anything else, please don't do it. Reels are great. But if all you're doing is reels, you are alienating another chunk of your audience and you're giving up the opportunity for actual conversions and building relationships with your audience through carousels, feed posts, and stories. Hashtags still matter. They absolutely do. We had a whole big hiccup last month where Instagram was like, oh, you can only use 5 hashtags. You can go check out my Instagram account at Jens_trends where I talked about that, and that Instagram Meta came back and said it was a glitch. But do you need to be prepared for that? I talk about that more on my profile. Stories are some of the highest converting content. Do not give up on your Instagram stories. If they work for you, keep using them. And ultimately, please remember, if you're not having fun, your audience isn't having fun. Instagram isn't meant to sell things. It absolutely can sell things, but people are not there to be sold to. They're there to have fun. They want to be entertained. They want to be educated. They want to see what's happening in the world. They want to see exciting things going on. So make sure that you're having fun with your content. Make sure that you are sharing the things that your audience wants. Because when you do that, when you give them what they want, they will give you what you want, which is ultimately those sales. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know we went a little bit long, but it's because there was so much good stuff to give you. So feel free to connect with me anywhere around the internet, pretty much everywhere at JENNS_trends. You can also check out my free Facebook group. If you just go to Facebook and search Jen Trends and Social Media, you've heard me talking about my membership program. You can check that out at profityourprofile.com. And if you want to join my free newsletter, scan that QR code. Again, double opt-in. I know, I'm sorry. But that will get you onto my newsletter. It goes out the first Wednesday of every month. That's it. I only do it one Wednesday once a month because I don't have time to create more content than that. So you get one newsletter a month, but it breaks down all the Instagram updates. We have on average 10 to 12 Instagram updates per month. And so I break those all down so you know what you actually need to know with your Instagram strategy. So feel free to scan that QR code and get on that list, and you can get next month's newsletter with all the Instagram updates. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It was my pleasure to share some interesting, hopefully helpful information about Instagram, how it works, about the algorithm, how to use it for your retail strategy. Enjoy the rest of this summit. I hope you find the whole thing valuable, and I hope you have incredible new ways to build your retail business going forward. Bye, everybody.